Morning, Sean. Happy Wednesday. I thought I'd simply just today respond to your last video about trying to find peace, but I wanted to focus on the more negative aspect of that video, and that is the concept of anxiety. As you know, anxiety has played just a small part in my life. So I don't think he's going to like this. No one's going to like this. No one's going to watch this video. Oh my god, this is a waste of my time. What am I doing with my life? One of the things I wanted to emphasize is the disconnect between anxiety, like true, honest to God anxiety issues, and reason. So your advice last week made a lot of sense. You know, when you have something that you're anxiety about, just do it because it's probably not going to be nearly as bad as you think it's going to be. That makes total sense. But had I told you that while you were hiding underneath the blanket in your bed for an hour and a half, I don't think it would have made any difference in that moment. When you're in the midst of a spiral, a panic attack, your mind latches onto something in a completely unreasonable way, and it won't let go. And there's no amount of logic or common sense that can actually free you from the grips of the panic attack in that moment. At any rate, that's how it was for me, especially when I was younger. It was the worst for me my first year of teaching. That first year of teaching was really my first year as an adult. It was the first time I was truly on my own. I was in a new state, in a scary as hell apartment complex. Context about the apartment complex: if you remember, my neighbor was shot and stabbed multiple times. And I was starting this new job that I was very passionate about, but I had no concept of how much it would overwhelm me. This was around the time that my mom had a relapse of her cancer, which just added more stress to the cauldron that was my boiling psyche. And I just remember times that first year of teaching when I just couldn't breathe. Oddly enough, Sundays were the worst. I couldn't bring myself to leave the house on Sunday because I thought I had to stay and do all my work. And I had tons of work to do. The crazy thing is that the anxiety, the hyperventilating, the mind going, all that was so distracting that I really couldn't get much work done anyway. And of course, that led to ever more anxiety. It just became this self-fulfilling cycle, this whirlpool that just constantly sucked me further down into my own anxiety, my own fears. So one Sunday, my friend Jan, who lived in Annapolis, convinced me to come over and hang out with her. So I went over, and it didn't take very long for the anxiety to overwhelm me. I had everything I needed to do my work there, but being out of the house on Sunday terrified me. She told me that there's no reason that I need to go back to my house. That in fact, she could help me get some of the work done, and I might even get more done by staying there. I told myself the same thing. I said, John, this doesn't make sense. Stop it. You need to be logical. You need to be reasonable. Stay here. Let her help you. Get work done. Take a deep breath. I think it took like 15 minutes before I was on the floor of her kitchen crying. Maybe another 15 minutes, and I was headed back home. It made no sense. And I knew it made no sense. In those moments, those panic attacks, it was like standing outside myself, watching the freak out happen, and being completely helpless to do anything about it. Now, a small reenactment of the craziness that is my mind. John, I'm never flying again. But that doesn't make any sense. What do you mean that doesn't make sense? We could crash, we could die. It's highly, statistically unlikely. But it does happen. I mean, look at the Malaysian Airlines flight. A blip, a fluke. I mean, you've flown before. Yeah, but I've just gotten extremely lucky. Okay, name one person you know who was ever involved in a plane crash. To be honest, I don't really have that many friends. Okay, fair enough. But still, you're much more likely to be injured in a car accident than you are flying. Well, now I'm afraid to drive. Oh, I give up. Wasn't that fun? Imagine that going on in your head all the time. Welcome to my world, my sick, sick, sad world. What I'm saying is this. If reasoning with yourself helps, great. If a little meditation calms your mind, awesome. But sometimes that might not be enough for some people. People shouldn't be afraid to ask for help. Well, not you, Sean. You're about to marry all the help that you need in just a couple days. Woot woot! Raising the roof, Shanks, raising the roof. People still raise the roof. So I'm happy to say that my anxiety is much better today. But if I hadn't sought help, I don't know where I'd be. So anyway, Sean, haha, I'm gonna see you on Friday. Peace out.